You know, we wrote our first screenplay, we made the film, and we submitted our rough cut to Sundance, and we got rejected. So it was like that kind of mystical place where, wow, you know, we're never going to get into Sundance, we're never going to have any of our films in Sundance.
We were like, fuck that Sundance, who needs them, you know? Fuck them, they suck, you know? Then when our script gets in, we're like, oh, Sundance? Yes, and the best con, I'm gonna go.
I'm Jamie Mayer, and I've been a writer for the last 5 years, but I'm trying to sort of get back into directing, which is where my interest in film started. My project is called Painless. It's actually the first script I ever wrote about 6 years ago, I guess, and it's something I just keep coming back to because I really am intent on getting it made.
I don't really believe that people's lives are changed by a movie, but I do think it's a way of communicating your idea of what's important in life and what's worth fighting for. And I think cumulatively, that affects our world.
I'm coming to Sundance from the world of ultra underground independent cinema. My world is sort of partly in the art world, partly in the club world and screening my films with bands. You know, so I haven't had success in the sense of having a feature film that's been in the theater. I'm really interested in bringing Latino stories to the screen, but not in the same way that they've been told by Hollywood. In this case, I'm doing science fiction. And when you go to pitch something like a Latino sci-fi, you really can feel people's jaws sitting in their lap. I have to pack my clothes. I have to finish casting. Let's see, how's it gonna go for my project at Sundance? Let's see.
The Sundance Institute, best known for its film festival, was founded 20 years ago to develop new talent in theater, dance, and music. At its core is the Summer Filmmakers Lab, where emerging directors bring their new films to life.
That's Sundance. A part of Sundance that's visible. There's quite a bit that's not visible from here. I bought 2 acres of land in 1961 for $500, and I built my own cabin in 1963. And that labor of love contributed to the root of Sundance emotionally for me, which meant that in time, whatever went on here was going to have a lot of meaning and be long-term.
I'm Leslie, I'm your driver. How you doing? Nice to meet you. Okay, go and get your bags.
You nervous? My stomach just dropped. We're not even at a high elevation yet. My ears haven't popped. Oh, green. Oh, yeah. This is a carnival. This is Gatsby. Yeah, this is Gatsby throwing his party right here. All right, this is Gatsby throwing his party. Wow, shit. This is great.
I'm Kieran Culkin. I'm an actor. I'm working with the Martini Brothers on Lime Life, and it's my first year here, so help.
My name's Alex Rivera. I'm here with a project called The Sleep Dealer. It's a science fiction in Spanish.
Jamie Mayer, one of the fellows, and my project is called Painless. And wow.
I've travelled all the way from London, so that's the excuse for the accent. Sorry guys.
I'm a camera assistant here, and much to my DP's disappointment, I'm not a camera assistant in real life.
My name is Ken Brecker. I'm the executive director of the Sundance Institute. And this is the heart and soul of Sundance. This lab represents everything that we work for the rest of the year. The long and incredible process that looks at almost 3,000 scripts a year and chooses only a few that come forward because they have something to say that hasn't been said on film yet. And that's what you fellows represent for us. But there's a sense of community here which I hope you'll discover, I certainly have. And so much of it has been defined and made possible by Michelle Satter. So it's my pleasure to introduce her to you.
This is the 20th anniversary of the lab, which is a great moment, an incredibly moving moment, certainly for me. I've been here for 20 years. So I ask you to join us in celebrating this 20th anniversary.
In terms of the lab, we don't support many filmmakers and many projects in a year. We support 15 to 20 projects, but it's a real investment of our resources. There is a crew that works with them. We have staff, administrative staff. We have actors who are specifically cast to work with the projects. We have a group of creative advisors who are really there as mentors to these filmmakers. Everybody comes together in support of 8 directors.
This is just a moment for us all to get together before the action starts. Tell us what you're afraid of, anything we want to talk about, even in terms of how the schedule lays out.
I think the main thing that always pops in my head is just that the scenes aren't going to work when they're done. And that's probably what I'm most afraid of.
Does it have to work here at Sundance?
I know it doesn't have to, but I mean, I would hate for them to really not work. Like on a lot of levels. You know what I mean?
The scene shouldn't be perfect. The location shouldn't be perfect. You should try how the scene works in a certain space. That space won't look like your location because it's going to be a cabin here up on the mountain and not on the East Coast somewhere. Or it's going to be the rehearsal hall with the gray walls.
This is about a process. This is a place where you're going to make a lot of mistakes, and it's okay. The worst day that you're going to have here will be your best day, because that's the day that you're going to learn the most.
So maybe start around my dad died.
All right. My dad died last week.
It's a story about a guy who can't feel pain, which is a real condition, and he's 19. And it's really the story of how he falls in love for the first time.
Were you close to him?
No.
He's pretty shut off from everything, physically, emotionally, everything.
Why are you so nosy?
I'm sorry.
There's something not making some kind of internal sense, I think. You're calling her back, and then there's that little section right in there. There's something funky going on.
Can I ask her back?
Yeah, that's part of it. It's not just that.
So, even if he's playing it like I just want to get laid, he's still got to know that if she's walking away and he's saying, wait, wait, for me, it kind of shot back by her already. Like, I already knew the answer.
Right. Let me think about it for a second, because I know what I'm trying to say. I just don't know how to say it. He's pretending to care, you know, instead of really caring.
Okay.
You know, I had 2 professional working actors standing there going, you know, are you an idiot? What are you going to tell me? They were waiting to see if they could trust me, to see if I knew what I was talking about, and I wanted the answer to be like, you know, yeah.
Overall, the whole script is very challenging. I think she wrote herself something it's not on the page. It exists off the page. So I think the hardest thing for her would be finding what isn't being said and what should still be told.
I used to work for a director who would vomit every morning before he shot, every day of his life. It's not to that point yet.
Sorry.
I've always wanted to call this workshop Directing the Actor, or How to Run the Most Important Piece of Equipment on the Set. That's a lot of what this is about, is how do you get out of, if that's your habit, and I'm not assuming it is, but if it is your habit, how do you get out of saying, laugh here, be angry there?
Being an actor, I'm obviously very invested in the well-being and respect of actors. So having a sense of community where you could create a place for actors to grow and develop would also honor another important thing, which was character development as it relates to storytelling. So storytelling and character development were really the essence of what started the lab.
I've always felt that actors need a place to fall on their faces and really get out on a limb and, you know, not worry about results. And this is what it is for these young filmmakers. And for everyone, I think it's incredibly inspiring and reminds you of why you went into the business in the first place.
If you love your story and you do everything in service of your story, then it will embolden you to take a really full swing at something, because in the full swing comes the home run. You know, if in the little bitsy, well, I'll do it so that the advisors will like it, or I'll do it so my producer will like it. You know, you'll never get hit more than a single or a double, but you really have to be willing to go for the fences, and this lab is about going for the fences.
I say the plan is null and void once we find out we got a rat in the house, you know? I mean, for all we know, Blonde and Blue could be dead. Maybe the cops got them out of the station house. Yeah, I mean, they don't know our names, but they could be singing about this place. Right as we speak, there could be cops coming here.
Jesus fucking Christ! Damn it, I swear to God I am fucking jinxed!
What? Hey, man, what's the matter?
The thing about doing that scene, what I remember, it's what I remember the most about Sundance, is it wasn't about this is how I want to do it in the movie. This was I want to experiment, and that's what I did. Terry Gilliam comes in and he's like, hey, I mean, there was like problems with it, and this didn't work, and this didn't work, and that didn't work, and that really didn't work, all right? But you know what? You were trying to do something.
Not bad.
It's a little bit like Long Island.
Vicky, I filed for a separation.
What?
I filed for a separation.
Oh, really? You did you?
That's right, a separation, then a divorce.
Yeah, that's right. That is right. A separation and then a divorce.
Lime Life is a film with pretty dark undertones, and it's very personal. Kind of like an amalgamation of how we grew up and where we grew up and the people we grew up around. And it follows a story of a 15-year-old boy who idolizes his father. And the question is what happens when you find out your father's not always cracked up to be?
I humiliate you? Huh? I give you everything. What do you want now, my blood?
Yeah, just come on, walk right in.
Alright. Yeah, I'm just not sure how close I want to get to the screening thing.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, good. Very good, very good.
What, the kids? What, they ain't happy either? Nobody's fucking happy anymore, huh? Nobody's happy. This is a really...
Okay, let's just sit down and do it for lines real quick, and then we'll...
Yeah, I'd like to go over a couple lines, because I just threw in a little piece.
What do you think about this?
All right.
We skip this shit?
Yeah.
And just go right into worse and worse?
Yeah, from worse and worse to you got problems.
You got problems.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
So you can just mock me right off the bat instead of going through some sort of explanation. I think it takes us right out of it.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'm the one that can convince him to leave. You know?
I think that's a good, great idea.
I think
That's
a great
it.
idea.
That's it. She just told you she can't protect you anymore, so now you are the one who's doing the protecting.
Trying to protect her. And
Right, you're protecting her.
Martini Brothers are really good. And they're two very different people. I've never had two directors before, but it's good. It's like they do two totally different things. I'm sorry, I need more letters. This is the type of fun that we have at Sundance.
I've always appreciated the idea of a sense of community where people could feed off of one another and give to one another. So I thought, well, maybe I could create something of a community myself by using the one thing I had available to me, which was this land.
The first lab of Sundance, the June Filmmakers Lab, was in 1981, and it was just great to be around all this energy. You know, I was there for 2 days, and I thought, I want this to be my home. What we weren't trying to do, and I think we were always really smart about, let's not invite the press in and have them define who we are. Let's let something happen here. Let's bring all these people together and interesting projects and actors and advisors. It's like that great party. You bring all these interesting people together and then you allow it to happen.
¿A dónde?
Al norte.
El Norte was the very, very first Sundance Lab project ever. Everybody wanted to be part of this thing. Nobody knew exactly what it was going to be. It seemed very exciting. But I think that Robert Redford jumping into this movement at that earliest stage was unbelievable. You know, that anybody in Hollywood would take notice of this. And certainly somebody of his stature was incredibly significant for the development of the independent film movement because it gave a tremendous legitimacy to it.
The other thing was, what happens if you take an institute like this with a process like this, and rather than put it in an environment where it normally would go, which would be the urban environment around New York or Los Angeles, and you took it out of that into a totally different, almost strange place of pure nature. When I found the idea of art and the environment mixing together, that was it. That was the it for me.
I mean, how could you not be afraid? It's like when you're writing a script, you're alone with your laptop. And then when you go into production, and you're involving 20 people, 25 people, forced to share it with all these people, with actors who are going to ask you questions about it. I mean, that's just terrifying at a basic level. I wanted to explain just what's going on with the scene. The first set of shots that we're taking are of the land, and then of Cipriano as if he was almost like a part of the land, right? And this kind of vision of a person who's passive and almost like a part of nature. Shots kind of caressing the mountains, gentle, and then kind of gently moving into him. And then what's going to happen is when he gets the phone call, when we start to see what world he lives in, we realize he's in the future. And the movie, which is all about turning the world really upside down, has begun. And feel free to tell me how to direct, because in terms of working with an organized crew like you guys, I'm not that experienced. So, Kristen, if you need to tell me, oh, for me, I need you to do this, you know, feel free to tell me what's up. And we need a name. Our team, do you guys have a name already?
Team Darth.
Team Darth?
Yeah.
Psst, perfect. Okay. And action. It turned out, I think, from doing animation and from doing documentary work, a lot of these things that were my fears coming in turned out not to be problems. I was better prepared to work with the camera than I thought I was. I was better prepared to work with the crew. There's not a big mystery there. You gotta be nice to people and let them know what you need done.
Next shot. Right.
I had been seeing that scene in my mind for 5 years, and to see the little pieces that we gathered with the camera, the way that I'd imagined it, that was really exciting.
I've been trying to be nice and polite, but I'm sorry, you're being nothing but a jerk. You're trying to show off by burning holes in your arm. You barely asked me any questions about myself, but still managed to insult my whole life. Don't bother to walk me home.
Cut.
Did you like when you got up?
Better. Yeah, I think it's better to get up there for sure.
I think she was a little too mad, a little too soon, though.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if she knows that she's mad yet, maybe. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Something's wrong with this picture feeling.
Right. But I don't know how to show that. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Because I know that, but I just don't know how to show it.
Maybe Joan knows.
Come with me. You stand there. First of all, the problem is that he's not romantic the way she wants it. Right. Tell him to kiss her oogie. If the kiss is oogie, you're going to get a picture of her reacting to an oogie kiss. Now, both of your actors are very good, and the scene is good. The problem you're having is your own indecision. And I could come in and make 8 decisions for you, but that won't help you learn how to be decisive.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah?
Okay. She's just disappointed.
Okay.
She thought this was a date. Look at how she's dressed, you know what I mean? She thought it was a date, and she thought it was going to be romantic. And he's not romantic.
Okay.
He blows it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
When you kiss her,
Yeah.
give her a bad kiss.
Okay.
Like, you know, like.
I'm good at that.
Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, no problem.
I
I've been trying to be nice and polite all evening, but you have been nothing but, I'm sorry, a jerk.
Cut. I thought that was the best one.
Can you recall your record?
I learned in the first scene, I think, it feels very hodgepodgey to me, but I was also nervous about getting all the coverage I wanted. So what I really wanted to end up with was what we call the Lars von Trier shot, which is the back and forth, which we didn't quite get the timing on, but that was what I wanted.
It's a lot of dialogue. Then I felt that the master shot, which I thought was great, you know, the tempo of it could have been much tighter and much faster. And it will take you 4 or 5 takes, but make it tighter and tighter and really make it so the timing of it is absolutely perfect.
When you come into the set knowing everything about exactly how that story should be, and then you just step back and roll the dice, it's magic, but it won't happen if you haven't made all the decisions.
What you're faced with right now is what we all face every day, you know, and we have the same dilemmas.
We're all stumbling creatures who have found ways to deal with what we contain and to deal with what we observe and feel about the world around us and find some way through the labyrinth of difficulty to say it.
People come here because they want to. They're not being paid. They enjoy the exchange.
As we send advisors out into the field, so to speak, the most important question is, what do you think this filmmaker needs today? It is about embracing individual visions, and when you embrace a vision, you help them better realize that vision.
Then you make a plan and you hope it works. And the more experience you have making a plan and shooting it, the better your guesses become.
I was at the lab in '92, but now I go back as an advisor, and so that's really amazing being on the other side. And I remember Agnieszka Holland was saying to me, she says, I swear to God, I'm so tired. She says, I'm more tired than making my own movie. And I said, I know, what is it? It's so exhausting. She says, I think it's because we're trying to get inside the filmmaker's head.
This is my little bit of superstition now. I consult my compass for my own direction. Then I can direct the actors.
Are we taking them up coming down or?
Yeah. All right, is everybody ready? Speed. And action.
I filed for separation.
Oh, yeah? Really? And you're sure about this? Fuck, I give you everything you ever wanted. What the hell do you want from me now, huh? You want my blood? Is that it?
Get violent?
Yeah, I'm gonna get violent. Fuck, you packed my shit. You really are fucking crazy.
I'm definitely the more driven. I get the job done. And he's like, "Oh, you missed this."
The
And then I'll,
details,
you know. Yeah.
I like the details
Yeah.
and the small little things of getting each moment to moment, you know?
2 sets of eyes with the same vision.
4 eyes, 2 brains.
That's right.
What the fuck? Stop! This is between me and your mom, okay?
Why don't you just leave?
Who's getting violent now, huh? Hey.
Dad, leave. Dad?
What is it?
Just go. Go.
Great and cut. Beautiful. Wonderful. Okay, good. Ellie, listen. Okay, now we're gonna have to get on you.
Champ, man.
And you guys are there, so I don't want to wait till after lunch. I want to get your stuff, and then we'll get Scott's after.
Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, I'd like to do it now. Absolutely, no
Oh,
question.
You're killing me. Sound ready and cameras ready. Actors ready.
Let's move to the martinis really quickly. What do they need? They were shooting yesterday, they're shooting today.
Derek needs a drink.
Derek needs a drink.
When I came, Derek had almost become like Mr. the Director, and we've got to move. All right, what are we waiting for? Boom, boom, you know. And you know, we were like, look, you might. Stanley had a nice little moment, and we were afraid to talk to him
Terrified.
because he was on a fucking schedule. And it's great that he had this moment, but he's going to start missing a lot of learning if that's what he's doing from here on.
Yeah, I would like to encourage them today to, when a take is over, for them to talk to each other, and they address every problem, camera and acting. Then they split up who's going to talk to who. And I mean, I can say this because I co-directed a film, and that was exactly what happened, and I think that was one of the reasons that the film worked.
The first week is getting used to everyone, getting used to your crew and getting used to your, how things work. And then as you get more comfortable, I think they build up to the tougher scenes as they work with their actors more and their DPs more. Yeah, things get more intense.
Does anybody know where my script is? Okay. But
Mark?
Yeah, no, look, it's cool, right?
Yeah.
This is the Neo tattoo parlor of the future where these workers who transmit their labor to the United States over the internet, this is where they get these biomechanical interfaces implanted in their bodies. So we would have one master sort of more looking over her shoulder towards him. The idea is that we're trying to film it almost like a love scene because it's like about these two people kind of one person kind of penetrating the other one's body and kind of making a new person and a new family between them.
Okay, so everyone in their first positions, please. Let's get Dolly to 1. Let's roll camera. We are rolling. Quiet, please.
And action.
Hoy no vais a pensar que esos son mis clientes, ¿eh? Ese es trabajo chafa, mal hecho. Pero tú lo has hecho antes.
The central emotional theme of the piece has nothing to do with technology or with the science fiction. It has to do with the story of people like my dad and immigrants have been coming to the States forever, which is the painful experience of being a remote control human, where you grow up in one place with a family there and you leave that place out of love for it. I love my family, I want to support them. Therefore, I have to go 5,000 miles away because that's where I'll earn $1. Here, I'll just earn a peso. And cut. How are you guys doing? You don't like it? It was never really meant to play as one scene. The idea is that time is passing, I think in the edit room we'll give it a little space so that we understand that time has passed and you guys are talking about something else now.
Okay.
Trust me, it's going to be great. I think the performance is suffering because we're making them run it all as one when it was written as like 4 little moments in time, sort of.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what I mean? And so the dialogue takes these weird turns, which just for them as actors, I think is disorienting. So I think what we really need to do is at launch, I'm gonna break it into 4 like micro scenes.
See, I didn't even know there was a time cut.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
It's only 5 hours into production.
Yeah, no problem.
Like almost a second worth of pause.
Un rato de carne.
It's cool, man. It's gonna be awesome.
Bien, agarra mi mano fuerte. Si te duele, me aprietas. Si tienes ganas de platicar, me platicas.
Could you cut that last one? Could you cut that last one? I mean, it's just
No,
too
no,
much.
no, it's
That's
fabulous.
too much.
It's fabulous, but the sound, you've got such a great sound. It just is,
I am not the one with the intimacy problem here, okay?
Oh my God, Hilly.
What do you think you're doing?
You tried 15 years of hell.
Just go right to the kids that are not happy either and have them come in. Once you come into the editing room, there is no more script. I mean, the script is gone. It's just a matter of footage. And you're almost, basically, you're rewriting in the editing room.
Yeah,
and it's
totally
great.
rewriting it.
Part of the day, you think, well, I know what I'm doing. I really know what I'm doing. And then, like, the second half of the day, you'll be completely feeling the opposite. Like, oh my God.
What if we went to the wide?
No. I like his way he delivers his dialogue when he stands up. Boaz, did you notice that?
Well, let's run it again. It's also, maybe it's just because we're not used to it. So let's take a look again.
Why'd you marry him?
I just want to do one thing before we go on.
Yeah.
I would look at her look at him, like he looks up at her, right?
Yeah.
Now, I would cut like 2 frames off before she looks up. And it's really gonna feel like his look gives her that little thing that makes her look up. He looks at her and she looks up.
It needed an internal tension that editing creates, and sometimes I think it's very valuable, especially since a fellow or a student, if you want to call it, is in a learning situation. It's, you know, it's just as valuable for that person to see you step in there and say, look, this is what I would do. Sometimes people just need to see something.
Why don't we try this shot for the stand-up through to, like when he says, I like the way it creaks.
And then cut on his moves.
Yeah, maybe cut on his moves back to them.
I saw no light at the end of the tunnel. And then you had some advice that actually came in, they started helping us cut it. And by the end of the day, it's like, oh wow, it's not as bad as I thought. So if it was just me alone in there, I would be like, I need to reshoot the scene. You know, that's the first thing that I thought once I saw the rough cut is I have to reshoot this. It's a good lesson. It's a really good lesson. It's a really good lesson.
The process itself is the most important thing. The work is in a way just a kind of a reflection of the way that we learn how to create day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute.
And action.
And unlock the door. Come on, Quinn, it's important. Open the door.
And cut. Good. That was nice. That was nice.
If we do her, then him, then we gotta reset the light.
No, because we're gonna light the whole thing. We're gonna light the doorway, and we're gonna light this little clump where they are together, because there's a pan from one to the other. Good there. Good there. We X this.
Okay.
What if we want to do one where she totally expects this? You know?
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm in the hospital again.
Try that, just for variety. One more.
Okay.
Just a little variety. Okay. Keep your eyes closed. Just keep your eyes closed. Don't open them until after that.
Roll camera.
Action.
He said that she never would have killed herself if I hadn't been born this way.
And cut.
Cut.
When he says she never would have killed herself if I hadn't been born this way, it's like pretty horrifying that he actually said that. It's so not fair what he said.
Right, yeah.
You know, and it's not you, and it's not.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I think it's a reaction to the dad.
Okay.
All right, let's go again.
Something's wrong with me. I feel sick.
Nothing's wrong with you.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't you.
Cut. That was pretty nice.
Going back to one.
Let's do it again right away. Maybe it's missing a little layer of anger with what the dad said to you.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go right away.
Okay, let's go, you guys. Action. And cut.
Cut.
I liked that better. I liked that a lot, actually. That's the one. Do you want to do it again? I'm actually really happy with that one. You want to try a Vincent take?
Yeah.
Another one?
Just give me one for me.
It's not about a skill set. It's about a vision. And we've discovered, over 20 years of work, in a great young writer-director in their early 20s, you can see that, you can feel it. And the role of Sundance is to hold on to that, to never lose it, to help that person understand that when they actually are in the unprotected world outside of Sundance, the big world where the clock is ticking and the dollars are flowing, that what they have to say matters.
Welcome to filmmakers who just arrived today. And we're very fortunate to have Stuart Copeland and Michael Kamen here tonight.
When you're into the film on the earliest basis, you have a sense of what music in my mind is going on in the character's mind. What the character is thinking as he's going through the action or she's going through the action. And the music I'm making could come from the character you're looking at.
or it could be about the character.
Yeah.
One thing that directors, this is for the directors, are always saying is, I'm sorry, I don't have, I'm musically ignorant. I don't know how to, I'm sorry, I don't have a musical language for you. The first thing you need as a director to know is your job isn't the musical language, your job is the dramatic language. And the only thing you need to tell a composer is not, I hear strings. You need to hear, I need to feel anger. I need to feel suspicion, as opposed to, do you want a saxophone?
Working with the composers has been an interesting experience because they're the fellows now as well. So they bring them in and we watch them do their work and then get critiqued by their advisors. We learned a lot about the power of music.
When he looks up, he sees it, we should hear the music.
Okay.
Because it's the sound of the place he's seeing.
Lo que pasa es que cuando los tiran, los botan en la misma forma en la que fueron organizados en las tiendas. Jorge, dime qué piensas de esto.
Yeah, maybe no tuba at all, we just kill the tuba, because that's like a different, you know, it's more, the tuba is almost to me the sound of the mountain. You know, the mountain's big, you know, the big lump or whatever, the tuba, the
The director can do every other aspect of the film. The editor gets it wrong, he step aside. He can cut it's this frame to that frame. If the actor's, you know, there's certain things he can do, but the music is the mystery, and they just have to almost like go to the voodoo doctor. They have to go to the witch doctor for music.
Siento como sigo intentando despertar ese sueño, tomar control, pero siempre termino sintiéndome así.
Jorge, si el sueño no es tuyo, ¿de quién es?
No sé.
I was really interested in trying to direct that scene against how it is on the page, as if it was a love scene, something that would kind of show this bond developing.
As soon as you get into an intimate scene, somehow you find the same mood, no matter what the relationship is. And I think that probably you should think about it when going back to the writing. The script.
Terrific thing you've done is, I think, you see a real consistency in the characters. The flip side of that is I don't know that I learned a lot more about them in any scene. What I knew about them after watching the first two scenes, I kind of feel I know exactly the same amount.
I think what's happening is, as we're seeing more and more of your work, and going, this guy's a director, he knows what he's doing, he's good at what he does, this is good stuff. We're now talking about finer points. I think the first time you see scenes, you know, when we were first getting here, seeing stuff, it's like, oh wow, that's good. Because it's just good, it's impressive stuff. But now the question is, how do you take good and go to great?
A lot of the problems that they saw are problems that precipitate from the script. Trying to direct an actor to play a character that I didn't really know, that experience was very difficult. What I'm doing in the rewrite is totally rethinking her character. I'm gonna give her a new name. She's a brand new person. It left me feeling like there was a lot to work on.
The Screenwriters Lab comes directly following the Directors Lab, and it's a whole new group of advisors that come. They're all screenwriters, and it's a real opportunity to get amazing ideas, to be a part of story sessions and a dialogue that will help each of the writers get to the next place in terms of their thinking about their scripts.
I think what's happened in an effort to make it a more efficient story, I think sometimes you lose depth of character, and therefore you rob yourself of moves you could have in the story, and so the story becomes kind of simple in places. And you get to this ending, which is extremely powerful, but isn't quite earned. And I think that the best thing you can do here is not try and restructure it and not try and polish the script. The best thing you can do is have long, hard discussions about the characters. He should have some philosophical reason for what's happening to him. Is it punishment? What is it? Why does he take that rifle out and point it every day. That should all be in there.
Scott led us into his process, which
Yeah.
is a brilliant process. I said, look, Scott, if you got this as a rewriting assignment, what would you do? And I think, I mean, best thing about it is a lot of his ideas were stuff that we had been mulling over, maybe even threw in an earlier draft, but then were afraid to actually execute it. And then he was like, no, do it.
Look at this place, huh? Look what we have here. Look how we live. Remember the old neighborhood? Huh? This is all we talked about, okay? Now we got it. Nobody can take it away from us, except for us. We can do it.
You're digging yourself deeper.
It's eerie sometimes when I watch the scenes, like especially with Lucinda, who played the mom in our script. Some of the things she says, it's like watching my mom. And it gets kind of eerie at times. We're going to be like ousted by our family after they see this film. I don't want them to see it.
I think that they'll respect it and then they'll absolutely appreciate it, what it is. And I think they believe, which is the most amazing thing, you know, for me, now that I'm grown up more, is that both of them have said to me, you know, God, if we could have just gotten through a few of those hard years, you know, we'd all be together. And they both agree with that. And to me, that's all the sort of acknowledgement that we need to make this movie, because this is about that time. I still think they'll be pretty pissed.
For the Producers Conference, about 120 people come as participants, and there's another 30 people that come as panelists.
You'll probably feel a little lost here, but it's really an opportunity to get us, hear about what's happening in the marketplace in terms of where there's financing, what companies are still in the business.
People that come as panelists are the movers and shakers in the independent marketplace. These are the people that make the decisions about the movies that are going to get made.
You can't even get in through the door at most of the bigger companies without some kind of representation. So who that person is who's kind of helping you push something along is probably the next most important thing besides the script and the actual filmmaking team.
It's a whole other skill. We didn't decide to be publicists. We didn't decide to be producers. We didn't decide to be agents. Like, that's not our thing. To some extent, I know that that's necessary, but it doesn't mean that I'm good at it or I like that part of it. My impulse is to hide. I literally have to drink 3 cups of coffee to gear up for the meeting.
Well, the first thing you got to do, there's 2 things. You got to get a producer, and then you got to do a budget. You got to figure out exactly how much the movie's going to cost to do. And then once you know that, then you have a sense of the kind of cast that you need to get in order to go out and raise the kind of money that you need to make.
Well, everybody's got these rules now, and tell me what you think of this. Everyone's, the big buzzword now is like $2 to $5 million movies. Nobody's making them. It's got to be either less than that or
You know
more.
what? Don't listen to what anyone tells you.
I met with Cassian from William Morris, and he was very encouraging and had heard about my film from somebody else and was interested in taking a look at it and seeing, how helpful he could be.
They know the ins and outs of what you're going to need to get your film made, how likely it is, and how it should be marketed, and they're very helpful. Well, it's kind of like Act 3 of our whole thing here. This is like the 3rd act finally, and it's about to end, and, a little taste of reality.
That'll be the end of the editing, and the truck comes for that tonight about midnight, and we'll be able to have everything packed and gone. It's sad. This is the sad part of the whole program is right here. Why is it sad? Well, it's over.
We're better filmmakers now. We're honing our craft. We're extremely aware of the fact now that we will be always honing our craft. And this was a springboard for that. I have so much more confidence.
Driving back to LA, and I have all these things waiting for me. I need to get a new agent, and I need to get a producer on board. And I have a rewrite to do, but I feel like I'm fairly close, and I can send out the draft I have now.
From here, I go back to New York City, and I'm going to spend the next 2 months rewriting and trying to find financing to do a sort of mid-level production of this film. And I feel like I can because of this feeling of confidence and the feeling of understanding my story that really comes from the lab.
When the filmmakers leave at the end of this weekend, it's not over for them. We stay involved with the projects, and we really make a proactive commitment to helping these projects move forward. From help in casting to help in finding a producer, we've helped projects find financing. And I take great pride in going to the opening of those movies that we've supported from the earliest stages.
The thing that blew me away was that all these people are here to help us. All these talented, famous people are there for us. There's all these interns, they're there for us. All this money is being spent for us. Like, there was this aspect about it I just almost couldn't get my mind around. It was just so philanthropic.
I remember Michelle said, "John, you're a filmmaker now." And she had a smile on her face, and I was just so choked up. There was a certain moment that she had seen that it happened.
I call the labs like the greatest gift I've ever been given. And now you're back in the real world. You know, you could take all these things with you and all the tools we gave you, and you can call us anytime, you can call the advisors and stuff, but you know, it's real now.
I was on a plane recently flying up to Sundance, and I sat next to a guy. He said, "What do you do?" And I said, "Well, I'm the executive director of the Sundance Institute." And he said, "Well, what's that?" And I said, "Well, Sundance." And he said, "Sundance, the festival?" I said, "Yeah, you've heard about it." He said, "Well, who hasn't?" And he said, well, tell me about it." And I said to him, "Well, Sundance is, more than a festival. It's also workshops and laboratories." And then I told him about the theater program. And we talked about the composers program and film. We talked about the new writers program to try and work and improve the level of writing about the arts, and our native film program, where the primary focus has been on American Indian work. And he said, so it's a real institute.
The way this has fallen into place, this was not designed at the outset. It evolved to where it is. And it's been hard to crack the thinking out there that this wouldn't fly. It seems so natural to me. But when I see people walking in the woods, talking to themselves, working a scene out, when I see people studying by picnic tables, laying in the grass, reading their scripts, people rehearsing in rooms, that's it.
Apollinaire said, "Come to the edge. It's too high. Come to the edge. We might fall. Come to the edge." So they came, and he pushed them. And they flew.